gentlemen, welcome to NJPW Puroresu Review. I am your co-host, Andre C. Right over here, the Taco Princess herself. It's Melball. How you doing today?
I am doing great, Andre. I had tacos not once, but twice last week. Twice. It was a double whammy for tacos. Alex Sane would be proud. I hope. I
Yeah,
hope.
I hope so. I hope so. And we're
And
gonna
we're
talk.
back to purple.
And the purple hair there. She rocking it with a all new color. And I've got no hair as usual.
What we know and love about you, Andre.
We are here this week to talk some NJPW Independence Day shows from the July 4th and July 5th. We're going to talk about those. And then, I lost my train of thought. My brain is just going mush today. I'm thinking about what we're doing the rest of the week, and that just didn't factor into the show at all. But, I'm crazy and I'm weird. But we're here to talk some Independence Day show. It's the New Japan Strong events in Japan.
That's so interesting. So interesting. And
It was
something I also noticed about this show, Andre, is the crowd seemed very much more of Independence Day kind of crowd. There's a lot more hooting and hollering than I'm used to for a Japanese crowd.
Yeah, it was very much a different feel to this show than everything, and from the commentary on, because the commentary team was Ian Riccaboni and Chris Charlton. So we got the best of New Japan Strong and one of the half of the best of New Japan Regular. So we got we left Kozlov behind.
Thank goodness he stayed home. Because man, we know how Melball feels about Mr. Kozlov.
Yeah. But we are going to get into this. I gotta say, the graphics that keep coming up for everybody's name, I love the clean look of the graphics. I very much like that. And again, I would like to see that going forward, but I'm pretty sure that's a strong thing. And but I think New Japan should adopt that because it's a clean look.
I mean, I think it's a fair trade to maybe, teach some of the graphics guys in Japan what the American guys are doing, and maybe, the Japanese guys could teach the American guys what they're supposed to be doing with production in general.
Very, very true. And one other thing on Riccaboni's commentary, he did indicate that Kevin Kelly will be live in Japan for every episode, every G1 show, and he did indicate that he's pretty sure he knows who's going to be commentating Collision while Kevin Kelly's in Japan. And insinuating that it's himself. So we're going to get Riccaboni on AEW, and we're getting Kevin Kelly live for all the G1 shows.
Which, we couldn't really ask to be spoiled with a better commentary team.
I'm very happy. We're getting Kevin Kelly and Chris Charlton back together live for the G1, and it's going to be nice getting up in the morning, watching that shit early. And, yeah, I can't wait.
Oh, gosh. I forgot about them starting at 2 a.m.
So much wrestling we have to watch over the next few weeks, and then the 5-star Grand Prix starts at the end of July. Aren't you excited? I know.
And then we have another Chop Talk we're going to have to be footing in on somewhere in there because we're going to be catching that LPW show at the end of the month where Gigi and Zoe are going to be in that 3 stages of hell match. Like, what the fizzity-uck is going on, you guys?
Lots and lots of wrestling. And if you go to Top Talent, you'll have to cover that one yourself because I won't be there. If you go.
Hell no. You're my ride to the Top Talent show. Unless somebody comes and picks me up, I ain't going. Although the announcement of Bobby Sharp finally facing Andy Anderson, your girl might have to pull some favors to get down there.
Some favors, eh? I don't mean it that. I didn't mean it that way.
Oh, Trey.
I just meant going through your entire Rolodex to get a ride. That's what more or less what I'm
pulling out the hot deck.
Well, we're gonna get into it. It's the NJPW Independence Day shows. Night 1, July 4th. January 4th is they announced something on the 5th that January 4th that they're showing the logo and everything. We always knew it was gonna be that day. But July 4th, we started a pre-show match. Dragon Libre, Kengo, and Takiro Katori from what was their team name?
Freedom.
From Freedoms versus Oscar Loibe, Ryusuke Taguchi, and fun little opener. I don't have a lot for it. Loibe getting the power advantage early against Libre. The best stuff of this match was the goddamn bunny rabbit. Like,
yeah. What the hell was with the bunny?
I don't know. So Katori comes out with a bunny, has it in his teeth. So he starts taunting people with it and hitting Taguchi with it. But then Gucci gets the bunny. It will not let it go. It's like it's this like power animal.
Precious.
And then yeah, and then Yo gets it at one point, starts and puts it in his pants, and is fighting Katori, and it's Jesus. There was a spot in here where Gooch goes for like a hip attack onto Kengo, and Kengo just steps out of the way, and Gooch just goes rocketing across, just slamming into the mat. It looked like the miss looked spectacular.
Oh yes, it was very Samoa Joe-esque.
Yeah,
for me.
Kengo just stepping to the side just looks so badass. It was just like,
Yeah. Very, very smart wrestler that Kengo. Came out of this match a bit of a fan of his. Very, very smart wrestler. There was one point where I can't remember who was in. I assume it was Taguchi. He ran over and hit Yo, and then he turned to hit Loibe off the apron and just kind of
Loibe just staring him down,
like smart guy.
I'm not gonna try because you're gonna hit me and it's gonna hurt. No, I'm backing
He
off.
did not want that smoke. Did not want the smoke of Mr. Loibe.
And the same thing happened the next night too with Bolton Oleg. Dude, it's funny.
Yes, it was. Yes.
Yeah, Yo gets the bunny. He was putting it in his mouth, imitating Katori's, like doing everything that Katori does at one point.
Mm-hmm.
In the end, there's a great spot where Katori and Kengo hit this like super kick knee strike sandwich, like very reminiscent of Catch 22, Catch 22. Really good. And then followed up by a swinging neck breaker by Libre to Yo. Libre gets 2, but can't get the win. So gets up, Libre going for a move, but Yo hits a big super kick, hits the direct drive, and picks up the win. Really fun pre-show match.
It was. It was a nice little introduction to the Three Freedom guys.
Yeah. Anything else?
No. I didn't take a whole ton on here except for just what the frick is with the bunny.
Yeah, pretty much. The bunny was just, and then Taguchi left with the bunny.
Yeah, he stole the bunny. He bunny napped him. Is that what that is?
Bunny nap. So we're gonna see it. We're gonna have to get some resolution. We really do. We're gonna move on though. The first match of the pay-per-view proper. It's the DKC versus Big Teats.
Big Teats.
Bad dude Tito. I love DKC's like karate dancing when he's coming out during his entrance. Absolutely spectacular.
So adorable. So adorable.
I love like the first couple minutes of the match. DKC's just trying everything with Tito, and Tito was just like and flexing it off, and taking the chops. It looked really good. Was it DKC went for his cannonball, like running cannonball, and Tito just caught him. Like this is the early one. He just catches him and picks him up and just yeets him a little bit. It was great. It was just great. Like the power in Bad Dude Tito, that enziguri, which is great height this guy gets on that enziguri, and it follows it up with that deadlift German. So good. Tito stepping on DKC's balls in the Tree of Woe. Oh, Canada. Tribute to Petey Williams right there.
I was going to say that. ELP.
Well, again, for me, it always defaults back to Petey Williams for me. But DKC getting some offense back in with a top rope drop kick, followed by a DDT, and the DK Fire chops, where he gets him in what looks like the Blade Runner position, then just like doing the karate chops to the neck. But like I know we've bagged on the karate chops from Karate Brave for it, but these ones looked effective because he's chopping right into here. It looked like it was an effect, and the way he's coming down, it looked effective. But and then the jumping elbow drop can only do 2. Tito finishes off the match with a clothesline in the corner, hits the Blue Thunder Bomb for 2. Can't get the win there, so he picks him up and just smashes him with a Steiner screwdriver and picks up a big win. I thought really fun match.
I found it very interesting to watch Teets' attitude in this one because he came out and he was just on fire. The crowd was excited to see him. He was excited to see the crowd. But as the crowd kind of started to get behind DKC, we kind of saw this emergence of this like moody, broody Teets. and he started interacting with the crowd a little bit more and be like, "Oh, this is your guy, huh?" It was great. Yeah, he really picked apart DKC in this match, though. There's the raw power that Teets has versus the DKC. I mean, there's the size difference is just kind of laughable. But my concern on this tour with Teets is I noticed he's got now a shoulder brace there.
They said something happened 2 weeks earlier, the separated shoulder or something.
Yeah, I was going to say that's typically something that you have once you've separated or dislocated a shoulder. It kind of acts as an extra. Mm-hmm. If it comes out, it won't look so bad kind of thing. I hope that doesn't become an issue for him. I really, really do enjoy seeing him on these tours, and the crowd seems to really, really enjoy him also.
Yeah, I really like this guy. It's almost too... I'm really hoping he gets to corner some of the guys during the G1 this year. Mm-hmm. I'm really hoping he's sticking around for the summer. Like, I really hope he can, like, commentary. I want to see him. I would like to see him as a guy that can work the undercard tags with guys. Because, like, there's going to be nights where I think, like, there'll be two guys that maybe you don't have to have them paired together. You can put one with Fujita and one with Teets. I would love to see Teets as one of the corner guys during this tournament. I really do think he'd be really strong for that and to help work under. I don't think they're doing undercard tags though, because there's only there's 8 matches per night. So
yeah, I don't really know, but I agree. I would love to see Teets in someone's corner, just like we saw Royce Isaacs in Filthy Tom Lawler's last year. It really added to Lawler's performance. So yeah, I 100% agree with you.
Yeah. Anything else on this one? We're good to go.
No, we are good to go.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a 6-man tag. It's Team Filthies, Jarrell Nelson, J.R. Kratos, and Royce Isaacs taking on Ryohei Oiwa, the return of Lance Archer, and the big return. The sauce has returned. It's Alex Zane, ladies and gentlemen. Alex Zane's back. Everybody knows our love from last year. Talking Alex Zane during the tag team tournament. Oh God, yes.
Yeah, Zane and Lindemann on fire last year.
Mm-hmm. And the sauce is back, and it looks like we'll talk about it more in the second half, but it looks like he's got a new tag team partner. Let's just say that. Kratos coming out with a big old bandage on his head with a lump, so looking like he's got a hematoma or something. And what's
I don't remember what happened, but he was in some kind of scrap the days leading up to this, which led to that being a thing.
Yeah, it didn't look great. Archer coming down. Great reaction for Archer. This crowd loves this dude. Like, he's getting cheered like a motherfucker. Just mauls the young lion on his way to the ring. I don't know which one, but just random young lion.
Fujita, I think. No.
Fujita, was it Fujita? Oh,
no.
Fujita still had to wrestle like the next match. So
Uiwa was in the match, so it must have been Nakashima. Because it wasn't Bolton, it wasn't Loibe. Loibe wasn't back yet.
Because Bolton would have been too big for that spot. Like, you could have mauled him, but it would have been big. It would have looked weird.
I think it was Nakashima.
Because every mauled was much smaller than him.
I mean,
not like Naka's small.
A big dude.
It's not like Naka's small, but Archer's bigger. Jesus Christ, that was great.
Yeah. It was funny regardless.
And then the announcer's commentating, like, how is Archer going to coexist with a young lion on his team? Because he kills them. He murders them. How is he going to exist with Oiwa?
I mean, and getting into the match, he kind of sort of almost did.
Yeah. A couple spots I really want to point out here. The springboard off the rope into the double knees, followed by the running corkscrew Suit and Star press by Alex Zane to Jarrell Nelson, to Isaacs early was very nice. Nelson and Isaac hitting the dual atomic drop, and then each just running a knee right into Zane looked really good. Kratos, the deadlift suplex he did, just picked him up off the ground into the suplex and brought him back. Looked really good. And then they all just posed in the ring together, like doing their it's like it was really cool. Zane backflips out of the German, then hits the flipping famouser. Kratos Archer and in those two just I loved seeing those two
slapping the slappy slaps out of each other. That's what they were doing.
Archer ends up knocking Kratos down, and then he picks up Oiwa and slaps Oiwa onto Kratos. It's so good.
Then follows it up with a choke slam on Alex Zane.
Like it was a flip choke, so he grabbed him and he lifts him up, but then Alex Zane, while in the choke slam, does a backflip to splash on. It looked great. The choke flip looked really good. Zane ends up head scissoring Isaacs to the floor, and Kratos starts bleeding out of his bandaged head, like just face is all bloody at this point. And Kratos hits you can see him seeing the blood, so he just tagged out. I don't know if that was kind of I think he was supposed to be in there longer, maybe, because he kind of noticed he was bleeding, so he got out and hit a cannonball off the apron.
Yeah, I don't really know, because like, we kind of do notice that with New Japan, they don't really necessarily like the blood thing, so like
Unless it's in a specific thing, yeah.
Yeah, so they'll like tend to remove a bleeder and then kind of deal with it and allow whatever to continue or not continue. So that might have been why he kind of deked out a little quick there, just to be like, because he would know they would need to check on him maybe. I mean, wasn't he the one who ended up finishing the match too?
No. So at the end of the match came with a full Nelson in lifts, kind of tossed up into a German suplex by Royce Isaacs, and the cutter from Jarrell Nelson, and Nelson gets the pin for his first match in his first match in Japan for Nelson. Yeah, and he gets the win. Kratos afterwards standing there, just blood all over him, just looking like he just survived a horror movie.
He is a horror movie.
Like, dude, it was gross. It was legitimately gross.
Yeah, I mean, we were discussing before we came on here. Neither one of us are a really big fan of the blood, gut, and gore unless it's like fake in a movie or something. Like, Saw is one thing. This is another.
Like, yeah. I get it. This wasn't like he intentionally cut himself, but
no, not at all. It was just
it was big enough to take him out of his match with Loibe the following night, because he was supposed to face Loibe on the second night, but he did get pulled out. And I'm guessing Japan just didn't want to risk him bleeding again and aggravating.
There was enough blood the last few nights. We were good.
Yeah, we don't need more blood.
Yeah, there was enough. There was more than enough. There was an extended amount.
Anything else in this one, or you got anything else?
No.
We move on. Tom Lawler, Kase Fujita. This was better than I had any expectation to be. Like, I expected it to be good, but this was great. This exceeded every. I expected it to have a good match here. Don't get me wrong. But this thing, I thought was absolutely fun. Fujita looked like a fucking champion in here. Tom Lawler looked like a beast in the way he beat up Fujita. Like, I thought they had a great match together. Gave Fujita just enough so he didn't look like he was just getting his ass beat, but it made Lawler look like a dominant threat, like somebody like, oh, I'm coming. Like, it's like he was like sending a message to Saber. It's like, I'm coming for your goddamn belt, kind of statement. Yeah. I love the American flag jumper. And when he's trying to strip to take it off, he's like, it's a zipper's getting stuck, and it took him a little bit longer to get out of it.
Yeah, the zipper got stuck, then his limbs were getting stuck, and it's like relatable.
Not as smooth as just when he takes off the jean shorts. So.
Yeah. I mean, thick thighs. What are they gonna do? Stop the things from coming off.
Lawler with the kicks early to the legs of Fujita, and they have a really good sequence of them rolling and each trying to jockey for position. With Lawler coming out on top, like he looking like the dominant wrestler, because he is a former amateur wrestler, MMA guy. You would expect him to be the dominant in that position. Lawler getting an ankle lock early. Lawler like diving and flipping through and pulling like a figure four knee bar onto Fujita. Looked really good. Fujita catching the kick of Lawler, but Lawler just starts throwing elbows to the back of the neck and then smashes him with a DDT for two. For everything Lawler did, Fujita had a way to work back. You know what I mean? He worked out. He worked through things. He looked good. Buzzsaw kick by Lawler, but Fujita ends up catching the PK. But Lawler picks him up, gets him in a guillotine, but Fujita ends up running to the corner and getting some strikes on him in the corner. Fujita gets a backdrop when Lawler's looking for a power bomb. Hits a nice running drop kick. Spear in the corner spear into the corner by Lawler, and hits the judo slam, followed by the PK, but can only get two. Fujita goes for a European clutch, but gets reversed into the rear naked choke. So Lawler transitions up, but misses the nasty knee on the brain. But it gets and Fujita sweeps him over. But then he picks him up and hits a Kamagoye for all things. Then locks the arms again and hits the nasty knee on the brain, or the NKOTB for any '90s people. You might know the other. You might know why he named his move that one for a reason. New Kids on the Block.
New Kids on the Block had a bunch of hits. Yeah.
And he picked up the win from the nasty knee on the brain.
Yeah. That was sort of implied. Yeah, he definitely destroyed Fujita a little bit in this one. But I was really excited with how smart Fujita was working. It really shows how closely he is working with Zack Sabre Jr. and the other members of TMDK. They all have this like very smooth transitional ability between like what styling they are. Fujita clearly going with the technical thing, but like Mikey Nichols, he does the same thing with his strikes. Shane Hayes does the same things with his like strikes and aerials, and same with Teats. You know, it's really interesting to see how each team member is kind of rubbing off on each other, so to speak. And just kind of like teaching him. He's becoming almost like a little like nice little marble of just tons of little things that he's picking up from everybody. And now with Robbie Eagles there also, I mean, he just has so much that he can learn from this team. And he really good call getting picked up by TMDK. I didn't have a whole ton written about the match, to be honest. I just enjoyed it.
And the announcer saying that Fujita keeps saying he is not a young lion anymore. He still keeps staying at ringside, and he said he's going to forego his excursion. The first person, if he doesn't go on an excursion, he's the first person to do it since Tanahashi, who never did a proper excursion. He did trips to the United States after he had already won championships, but he had never done it. He never did his excursion. Tanahashi never did an excursion. Fujita might be the first not to. Because again, he's already in position that he doesn't. I don't think he needs the excursion. His style, his character is, I think, already what you want. If he's going to be part of Team DK, this is exactly who you want to be part of Team DK.
Because realistically, he could go anywhere. He could go to Rev Pro, but guess who's got a pretty good stable in there with Rev Pro, Zack Sabre Jr. You have Big Teats, Shane Hayes, Mikey Nichols. They've been going over to the US doing strong stuff quite a bit. You can go over there with one of them. Like he has options. He has so many options.
And they can develop him without having to send him off. Like 100%. you can go over with his boys, work matches in the U.S., work matches in Britain, then come back, keep being their guy in New Japan too. So again, you don't need to send him off.
100%, I agree.
Yeah. When we move on, it's a tag team match: Eddie Kingston and Rocky Romero taking on Bullet Club's Gato and Kenta. I'll have to admit, like, I'm not the biggest Eddie Kingston fan, but like. I'm happy for the guy that he finally gets to, like, I know he's come over to Japan a few times with smaller companies, but finally getting to be there on the big stage in New Japan. Look, you can see it on his face when he came out during his entrance, like kind of like that, like finally getting that point of being on the stage, and he's going to get a big setting here in the next week or so. But yeah, things look really happy and kind of like that mesmerized of like finally being in that NJPW ring there, and Kenta slips out, avoiding Kingston like right away, and tags in Gato, just because he's like, I'm not fucking with you right now.
That's tomorrow, my guy.
Yeah, so Kingston's just like, screw you, I'll tagging Romero then. And it was just like, so yeah, Romero and Gato actually having a good little spot there at the start. Romero with that big old wind up, and then pop. Gato was actually really
style.
Good. Yeah, Gato's begging for a timeout, but then pulls Romero by the belt, sending himself to the floor where Kenta attacks. But they didn't pull the stupid babyface spot because Eddie just got off the apron, ran over, and started beating up Kenta, which I was like, this is good psychology because you're not letting the babyface get his ass kicked while his opponent waits on the other side. I was like, good on it. I really did like that. I liked the psychology there of that. Kenta raking the eyes of Romero in the from the corner while Gato has the ref distracted, and then Gato raking the face of raking his face right after. I like that little spot. In the end, though, Eddie he misses a back fist. They catch the kick from Gato, and then he hits the spinning back fist to Gato and gets the win. Again, a fine little tag match, nothing wrong. Again, we'll talk more about Eddie in the second half of this show. Yeah, I'm not going to be as negative as people might think, but yeah, not exactly happy. I was bugging Mel about it at the AEW show, but I'm not exactly happy about it. But
yeah, Mel was pretty happy only because she was drunk, but she was not happy with the information. No.
She was very, very drunk. Like I had to hold her up at points.
You did not.
Yeah, no.
You did not. I wasn't that unruly. I could walk, my guy. The only thing that I wanted to add to this was there's a point at the end with like when they were kind of winding down before Kingston did pin Gato. There's a point where Gato was just straight up kicking Kingston in the face. Like just,
no selling? Yeah.
Yeah, and he was no selling it entirely. And the more I noticed Gato get angry with it, the harder he kicked Kingston in the face. So thank you, Gato. Gato fixed it. I don't know. Yeah, that was all I had. Oh, on Gato's hair. I liked his hair. It very Natsuko Tora.
Yeah. I guess
and
so.
He needed that look.
He looks good. Again, the shirt he was wearing, he's not wearing that big, giant, open hole shirt anymore. I like the look he's rocking now.
Yeah. I really like how Kenta's looking now.
Yeah. But and Gato, he's still giving me that I'm just an everyday random person vibe. But I still get that off of him.
I think it's the hat.
Yeah. I think it's just his general look. It's just a beard. I'm just an everyday dude. Yeah.
Anyway.
We move on to one of the matches I was super excited for this show. It's Momo Kogo, Willow Nightingale taking on Mafia Bella, Julia, and Thekla. The Toxic Spider Thekla and Beautiful Insanity Julia. I knew the Toxic Spider nickname, but I didn't know the Beautiful Insanity nickname because we never hear English commentary for Stardom.
Yeah. Well, I only knew that because I got her finally on the NJPW Strong Spirits game.
Which still trying. If you guys aren't
playing, you should download and play because it's amazing.
I'm obsessed with it now. Mel got me hooked. It's a problem.
I know.
It's a problem now.
Come find a Melball. She'll help you out.
I'll say, like, I love finally getting some English commentary with her. The kimono on Momo looked great. And then the way the announcer goes, the babe with the power for Willow, just the babe. Just the way the announcer says that kind of stuff, I love it because it's a Japanese announcer saying the English phrasing. It sounds so good.
It does. It does.
Big Julia chance in the building. Really behind her. Julia ended up kicking the hand of Willow, who's offering the handshake. Yeah. Lots of big chops in this from Willow and from Julia early. Julia hitting an STO, but Willow ends up fighting back up and hits a big old scoop slam. Thekla ends up in, and she does she gets thrown into the ropes by Momo, and then kicks. Well, she's in that spider pose in the rope. She kicks Momo in the head. Love that. The announcers say it is a Stardom referee, Bob Sasaki. At least that's what they have. Bob Sasaki. That's the whitest and the Japanese, very white, but also a Japanese name. It was very weird.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Here's the announcer, Bob.
Here's the referee, Bob Sasaki.
Hello, Bob.
Yeah. Willow with some big clotheslines and the splash in the corner to Julia. Willow gets the big spine buster to Julia, but can only get 2. Yeah, there's a lot to this match. It was really, really good. Probably one of the stronger matches on this show. I think
Mhm.
this both the tag title matches for me are the three big highlights of this show, along with the
Mhm.
return of Alex Zane because I love that guy. Thecla getting a modified Koji clutch at one point
Mhm.
to Willow, but Mo ends up breaking it up. A huge choke slam by Willow. And she goes up top, but Thecla follows her off, and Thecla ends up getting the spider suplex to Willow. And
Yeah.
Julia hits a beautiful top rope dropkick, follow it up, and Thecla hits
Mhm.
the splash off the top to Momo and to Willow on the floor because when Julia hit Willow with the dropkick, she ended up going to the floor. It looked really good.
Mhm.
In the end, though, uh, uh, Willow hits the Babe with the power bomb onto Thecla, and she gets the win in this match. But
Mhm.
again, really good tag match, really highlighting Julia and Willow here, getting them really poised up to a New Japan crowd for their
Mhm.
match coming up the next night because you might not be. Wow, there's an angry Koji. All right, Mel,
I
your
think I
thoughts?
actually heard someone knocking at my door.
Ooh, delivery. Is it delivery or is it Delicio?
At 8 o'clock? I don't know if I want to know.
Yeah, but what were your thoughts on the match overall?
Um, I found it interesting the ending because it was the only one who didn't have a championship, who took a pin or the who did not take a pin. Momokoko, the only person in this championship or in this match who didn't have a championship, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So I found it very interesting that Thecla took the pin in this, but she worked really hard and gave a lot in this one
Mhm.
um, to kind of look like that or kind of end like that. I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted now. I did
Okay.
hear someone knock a second time. I really hope something's not terribly
Broken.
wrong.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, Julia very unafraid to step up to Willow and the power that is Willow Nightingale. Really, really set up really, really well for their match on the fifth. Also, just wanted to mention there was an octopus, I think, that Thecla was able to kind of cinch on to Willow there. Looked
Hmm.
really, really, really good as well. I mean, Thecla, she is that tiny little toxic spider. She can kind of cinch you into whatever she wants and keep you there if she wants you to. This is why I love her so much. I want to be everything about that woman.
She's pretty goddamn awesome. I'll say
Mm-hmm.
that. But Julia's just the best.
Mm-hmm.
We move on. It's an NJPW Strong Openweight Tag Team Championship match. It's Bishamon, Hiroki Goto, and Yoshi-Hashi defending the titles against the Bullet Club War Dogs, Alex Coughlin, and Gabe Kidd. And it's Gabe Kidd now, not Gabriel.
Not Captain Sassy Pants. Good golly, Miss Molly. I feel like he would attack me if I called him Sassy Pants.
Well, now he's just Captain Angry Pants because him and Coggan come out just throwing chairs around at the start of the
Captain
fourth.
Yeety Pants.
It's just angry and throwing belts. So the ref gets the belts from Bishamon and is showing them to the War Dogs, and War Dogs just grab the titles and attack Bishamon with them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Just.
so they all brawl to the floor. They just lots of throwing into the chair and barricade stuff. Um, they both take a turns chopping Yoshi-Hashi. Oh, and standing on their head. No, because they both were just putting their foot on his head.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So that's sorry, I wrote stand on his head, and I'm like, what? Oh yeah,
Yes,
they
they
were
kept
standing.
stepping on his head, and the ref was giving them shit.
Yeah, hard slap to the face by Coughlin to Yoshi-Hashi, but
Mm-hmm.
Yoshi starts firing back, but gets dropped with a sick forearm. Um, Goto he drops Kid with a beautiful lariat in the corner, and then hits a beautiful top rope elbow for two. Hard slaps back and forth by Goto and Kid. Man, like I'm really impressed by the way Kid, especially Kid, has stepped up here, and like the style, like he's just going hard with Goto, who's known to hit really hard. Like he's just throwing back and forth with them, slapping each other, and each other's faces. Goto ends up hitting the Ushigoroshi, and then he tags in Yoshi-Hashi. Bishamon hit the final flash. And they set up Shote, but Coughlin stops it with a lariat. And they go to do final flash on. They hit a final flash into Shoto on Kid, but he fights off and superplexes Goto. Yoshi-Hashi gets a super kick on Kid, but gets kicked onto the ropes and held by Coughlin. But Yoshi-Hashi hits Coughlin. I'm suck at writing. I'm just going to the end here. God damn it! And this is me typing too. So the War Dogs stopped the lariats of Goto, and hit the double choke slam, and they hit the double muscle buster onto Yoshi-Hashi, then the hijack pile driver, and they get the win. We have new strong openweight champions, ladies and gentlemen.
And yo, let me tell you, I mean, like we said at the beginning, these two came in pissed the heck off. They were just eating everything that they could put their hands on and that they could lift. If they grabbed a person, I'm sure they could have yeeted them too. Like they were just throwing everything around. So angry. I love it. And just like we said when these guys hit the scene, these guys are going to be dominant. They're going to be, defiant. They're going to be angry. These guys showed up and showed out for this match. They came in so motivated and so pissed the frick off that they literally propelled themselves not only into the championship picture, but into the championship era. Like, oh my God. I wasn't expecting them to win, their first kind of championship challenge, but I'd be remiss to say that I'm not happy about it. I am, because I wasn't happy about Goto and Yoshi being double tag champs. I barely think that they can carry one title.
Yeah, and again, this is good because these guys are easy, can travel back over the States, be that presence here without kind of pulling Goto and Yoshi from Japan, which is it is a good thing, especially with Goto and Yoshi-Hashi going into the G. Well, I guess all four are going to the G1 this year, but it allows them for when they come back, having that can run the New Japan Strong shows with a strong presence over here with those titles on their shoulders. And the eventual match, War Dogs versus Aussie Open. I'm looking forward to it, man, because Aussie Open's going to want those belts back.
Oh, heck yeah. Got two young, hungry teams there, two of the most dominant teams right now in NJPW. Because arguably now, Bullet Club War Dogs and I would argue United Empire are the most functional and noteworthy factions in NJPW to watch out for right now.
Very much so. So after the match, Kid ends up applying a single leg crab to Yoshi-Hashi. And then they end up taking out a young lion who tries to make the save. Kid holds Yoshi-Hashi as Coughlin hits him in the face with the belt. Then they hit Goto in the face with the belt on the floor. Kid gets the mic, says, "You're looking at the new strong chance. Tomorrow they will have the IWGP belts." Coughlin then says, "Goto, Yoshi-Hashi, fuck you." Simple, straight
Man
to the
of
point.
many words.
It's simple and straight to the point. I like it. I like promos like that.
And we had another moment after this match where, again, the camera was in Coughlin's face and he was just running his mouth. We got to hear a lot more from this one than we did the one before. And, I do not understand why they just don't put a freaking microphone in his face when he's going on like that. Because the things he is saying, they're the quality. He's cutting a great promo. And it's like, no one's hearing it. We got to hear this stuff, man. Just because Finley is your leader and he gets to, tickety-tockety the tickety-tocks, you won this match. You earned the right to talk. You should have had the microphone and should have just said more than fuck you.
Yep.
You really could have went for it. You really could have pulled up the whole thing where it was like, it's a Japanese crowd. They don't know what the hell you're saying. You could have rambled all of that ish. I would have loved to hear a little bit more of it. So let's Gato fix it.
Yeah. So we move on. Semi-main event of the evening. It's for the IWGP Junior Tag Team Championships. It's Catch 2-2s. Francesco Kira and TJP defending the titles against the Bullet Club War Dogs, Clark Connors and Drilla Maloney. Mel, you made a little Yeah,
I
I know.
mean, come on, you know. But
I
like,
know. I know. I was a little sad. So we'll get into this. So Maloney they're getting in each other's faces at the start before the match starts. And Maloney ends up spitting in TJ's face. Or
ooh,
at TJ's face. I don't think it
ooh.
actually hit him. So TJ drop kicks them. They all start a brawl. The bell goes. They all brawl to the floor. They're fighting everywhere. TJP gets tossed over the barricade. War Dogs are beating up Cash 22 on the floor. Akira gets tossed into the chairs. Drilla, and they all go up to the stands and they're fighting up in the stands. This is where United Empire takes back over,
Mm-hmm.
and they end up trying to toss TJP down some stairs.
Mayu
TJP jumps,
Watani style.
yeah, but TJP gets off. Akira comes in off the higher up to hit the high cross, and onto Connors and Drilla. Again, a really fun
Mm-hmm.
spot. They bring Connors back to the ring, and they hit the assisted head scissors on Connors and the multiple kicks and that home run drop kick where like Akira run and hit the drop kick and TJP just goes. I'm
Yes,
calling that the home. I'm
yes.
calling that the home run drop kick from now on. They try the electric chair senton, but Connors ends up chop blocking TJP's knee, and Drilla hits a choke bomb, and they double stomp and hits a choke bomb, and then a double stomp senton to Akira. Like when it looks actually really good. He jumps up, hits that double stomp, but then like immediately like flips into a senton. Looks actually really good. I really like the combo
Maloney,
there.
yeah?
Yeah, Maloney, yes.
Yeah. He did that a few times during the Super Junior
Yeah.
tournament. Yeah, I love that move.
Yeah. Catch 22 hit the electric chair senton off the apron to War Dogs on the floor at one point, and then TJ hits a beautiful springboard DDT in the ring, then immediately turns it into the Pinoy stretch. Onto it was to I think it was on Connors. And Akira gets onto Maloney, and then Akira
Mm-hmm.
gets the guillotine to Connors
Mm-hmm.
uh in the ropes, but like Connors ends up fights and he fights out of the ropes and slams into the Pinoy stretch to break it up. Looked really good. You kind of showing the power that Connors has. I really did
Mm-hmm.
like that. The high-low chop block spear combo from War Dogs, but Akira does onto TJP, but Akira breaks up the pin.
Mm-hmm.
Akira hits the destroyer to Drilla off the back of TJP. Looked really good, and they hit the X Factor 3D to Connors. Akira hits Speedfire and hits the suicide dive to Drilla, but this is where I'm like, it's got to be over here. But TJP only gets a 2 on Connors, and I'm like, no. Yeah, Akira gets caught on a baseball slide by Drilla and gets running to the barricade, and TJP goes to the top but misses the Mamba splash. But he ends up dodging a spear and tries to go for his DDT, but he gets enseguried and pulled out of the way. But he gets pulled out of the way of the gore, and Drilla ends up goring Connors.
Mm-hmm.
But Drilla ends up hitting. They end up hitting Akira with a Drilla Killa afterwards, and it was just they look sick. When he gored Connor, it's just like, oh, it looked like he murdered him. Then he turns around and just kills Akira with the Drilla Killa. It was just
Mm-hmm.
like, holy shit. So Connors picks up TJP, hits no chaser on TJP, and Drilla picks up TJP, and they hit this like spear suplex combo, like with Connors coming off the top rope with a spear,
Mm-hmm.
and Drilla pins TJP to win the titles. Not what I expected.
No, not what we expected, not what we wanted.
Yeah.
Phenomenal freaking match though. Holy hecky
Mm-hmm.
crap. Did you mention the snap suplex Akira did on Connors,
No, I
followed
did
up by the
not.
thrust kick on Maloney? That just the speed of Akira is just incomparable. Like he is just so freaking quick. The thrust kick to Maloney, he ducked the first one, and then TJP came in with the assist. They had a double thrust kick there. Absolutely love that. United Empire is just, as I mentioned, these two teams here in this match are the most dominant and most now unified teams in NJPW. They clearly get along the most. And I will mention something about that on the next night. Yeah, it sucks that we had to go for the Super Juniors with Catch 22 not being the frickin' champions, and they get them back, rightfully so. From I hate to say it, but like Kushida and Knight had a very underwhelming title run, and beforehand, Catch 22's super hot title run. Everyone was excited to see these guys, and they were excited to see them defend. When Knight and Kushida had them, it was kind of like wow. This felt too short of a title run for these two, but I do like the potential setup that it does for them meeting the War Dogs again.
Oh God,
this is obviously not through.
Because we're not going to see juniors for the next little bit, because I don't think there's going to be much of an undercard. All the cards that are released right now it's just tournament matches every night.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not going to see the juniors.
I'm not mistaken, my friend. I don't believe that Mr. Connors decided to intimidate any women tonight.
I didn't see that. I didn't see him doing it. I was specifically looking for it in his entrance. He just came out being all intense and just walked to the ring.
Same, yeah.
So we move on to what was not my main event of the evening, but the main event of the evening. It's Homicide and John Moxley taking on El Desperado and Junior Sai. So to be clear, ladies and gentlemen, me nor Mel are really into hardcore, so we're not going to spend a lot of time on this match. Neither of us are really into it. I respect that some people like the bloody and the crazy and the cutting each other. I don't see any point in blood in professional wrestling. It's very rare that I think people need it, and this is the kind of wrestling I just don't like. And I've been to a death match. It was probably one of the worst experiences I've ever dealt with, because I felt horrified after being there. So I don't like this style. I respect the guys for going out and putting their bodies on line for it. Yeah, I do. I don't like, because there's a portion of the crowd that loves this. I got
Desperado's fucking savages, all of you.
Desperado's modified mask looks super cool.
Yes, that was a good thing to come out of this.
Yeah. Kasai brings a fork covered board. So so again, there's a lot of stuff here. Kasai's back looks just gross with all the scars on it.
I was talking with somebody about this guy earlier, and I said that it literally looked like this guy lost a battle with a wood chipper. And like, if you see pictures of his body, you would be like, yep. Yeah, he just went ass first into that thing.
Well, his forehead looks just mangled from all the cutting that's happened. It's just so I'm just gonna go on a couple spots here. Kasai gets a legit butcher's knife or cleaver out and like slices Homicide's head, and it was like the pizza cutter spot with Gage and Jericho. I just went there was like Kasai gets backdropped onto the board of forks, and it's just,
and then Desperado did too, didn't he?
Yeah, and then Moxley stabbing people with a fork, and Homicide just punching people, and it's just cop killer attempted by Homicide. But Homicide gets sent up, and it's just a lot of crazy shit. Desperado like hitting a guitar on Hell at one point looked like that looked really good.
Yeah,
when they hit a few wrestling moves in the match, looked great.
Desperado's spine busters, top notch.
Yeah,
top tier, top shelf.
There's like a double team where Desperado hit the spine buster. Kasai hit the salute top rope splash, puts the goggles on, does the dive. I will admit that was funny to watch. It just was just stupid visual in the middle of a hardcore match. And then he hits the pinche loco to Homicide, but Mox ends up stopping the pin. Desperado slams skewers into the top of Mox's head, like it's sticking out, just like gross. Homicide hits a low blow on Desperado. He gets blocked gets a block on the pinche loco. But Desperado does end up hitting the pinche loco, rolls through and hits one onto a trash can and pins Homicide and gets the win.
And that was merciful. This is not my jam. This is not my thing. And there were points where I was sitting in my garage, and I'm sitting here like arguing with my telephone because that's what I was watching it on. I'm sitting there going, no, no, no. Why? Why are we doing this? Why do we need to do? Why is there a cleaver? Why was there a crucifix of razor blades? So unnecessary.
Oh,
Like,
I'm sorry, I didn't even talk about that. That was just fucking nuts. Oh.
And like between my complaining, I was like trying not to lose my dinner. So I'm just sitting there like gagging at everything. Pulls out a knife, throws them into a board. Like, I swear to goodness, like my neighbors must think I'm insane. The noises they hear coming out of my garage. It was a thing, and it happened, and I watched it.
Like, I respect them for going in there and doing it. I just don't like it. And again, I'm not. I listened to a lot of other podcasts. I was listening to SNME, and I heard them talking about it. They thought they loved it. Again, they're into the hardcore stuff. I am very much not. You're going to hear more from SNME on this channel because there'll be something coming out later this week that we're going to be doing, partnered up with them, that'll drop on our YouTube later this week as a bit of a G1 preview. But like, I respect people liking this stuff. I just don't. It just doesn't appeal to me.
Blood belongs in your body, not on the sidewalk. That's just what I'm going to say.
And again, I know Moxley bleeds in like every match he does, but Moxley is an incredible professional wrestler. I've watched him have great professional wrestling matches. And I go with the blood. I'm just like, this is just a guy because he used to be didn't get to do it in WWE, so he's doing as much as he can now. And
he
Homicide
porcupined in this one too, didn't he?
Pardon?
Oh, he got porcupined in this one, didn't he?
Yeah,
with the sticks.
Right, the skewer was right in the top of the head. This was one of the last things in the match, and it was just like, yeah. So we're gonna move on to night number 2, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
We're gonna kick it off again with the pre-show 6-man tag. Master Wato, Oleg Boltin, and Taguchi taking on a Dragon Lee by Takahiro Katori, and this time they're teaming with Rekka. Rekka was cool. Again, I thought he was Alex Zane at first with the hair.
When I heard his name, I was like, Ruaka?
No, but when he came out, I was like, does Zane change his gear up? Is he in the wrong match? I'm like, am I watching the wrong match?
And also suddenly Asian?
No, but just I didn't really notice the face at first, right? And then I just see this dude with like big red hair come out, and I'm like, what? And then I'm like, oh, okay, that's somebody different. But again,
and trunks are a lot smaller than I'm used to seeing Zane in.
And then there was another match later on in the night where I saw Rekka at ringside, Young Lion, like playing Young Lion.
Yeah.
And I thought it was Zane again.
No, sir. I did see that too, and then I noticed he was with Mr. Libre there.
But then I realized who it was once. Like I was like, "Why is Zane doing Young Lion work?" And then I realized, "Oh no, that's Rekka."
Not a Zane.
No. But again, another really fun opening match to pre-show match for the show. Katori, his entire story of this match is trying to get the bunny back, and that's I think what this match was about them keeping the bunny away from Katori. Is what this match was.
It brought out a lot of Oleg's character.
Oh my god! And I will say this: Oleg is looking jacked as fuck in this. Yeah,
he's leaning out real good.
He's leaning out. He's looking swoller than ever. He looks like
I love it.
His arms are like double the size of where they were. Man, the guy's looking huge. Again, if you remember Kitamura from a few years back, I'm getting but it's his body type that I'm getting vibes of with Boltin right now. Like, but yeah, 100%. Really good wrestling start with Rekka and Gooch. Good wrestling transitions, a lot of that. Boltin, when he's in there, he's got the bunny. He's like holding Katori back, like just holding the bunny up.
Yeah, because he's so little.
He's holding him back by the head, just like just holding him back. It was great. Yeah, this is Boltin dominating Katori, and he shoves the bunny back in his trunks. Wato comes in, puts the bunny in his trunks. Pretty much every time they tagged in, they would take the bunny and put it in their trunks when they came into the match.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that everyone's clean.
Oh, God, please. Boltin getting a really nice military press slam to Katori with the bunny sticking out of the front of his pants.
And I'm not going to lie. Like, I mean, everyone loves a good joke, but man, it is hard to take somebody seriously when they have a pink bunny.
Yeah.
With big floppy freaking ears sticking out of their ding-dong sack.
So Gooch gets in and he puts the bunny in his knee pad. and he goes to do like a knee drop, but he misses. And this is where he pulls the bunny out and gets angry and hucks it across the ring. So this gives Katori the chance to get his bunny back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was so funny. It was just humorous. Yeah, great little match. Like Rekka and Dragon Libre both in there with some really good stuff. Dragon Libre's Meteoras look really good. Rekka hits a top rope drop kick to Watto for 2. Then they get a flapjack, and then to Watto, and the triple drop kick by All Freedoms. In the end, though, big drop kick and the Recitamente by Watto for 2 on Rekka, and Watto hits the high angle German suplex and gets the win.
And like, how high was that freaking high angle? Holy heckin' shit. If he would have let go of him, he probably would have yeeted Rekka out of the ring. And he was in the middle of the ring. Like, the height that he got on him was insane.
Yeah. But I loved Gooch after the match. He attacks Katori and takes the bunny back, brings it in the ring, and then stomps on it. And Katori's getting so pissed off. It is so fucking funny. So like,
and then he got mad at the bunny.
Yeah, he was angry at the bunny.
Beating up the bunny after what the bunny do, man? You were the one who didn't hold on to your bun. Bun got bunned.
I love the comedy of this match. It was so good. And there's some good wrestling in it too.
It was actually a very entertaining match. And I did enjoy how Watto, who's usually a fairly serious character, got into it as well. Also, just want to mention that I am so happy that Watto is not rocking the blue hair right now. And he was actually rocking a gold look that matched his gear very, very well. I personally really liked it. I thought it added a level of maturity to him, and it made him look like a really legit, good, serious wrestler.
Well, it should be silver because he didn't win the gold.
Yeah, but there's gold on his outfit. It matches his thing.
Well, then change it to silver, boy, because you're not the champion.
He's still got the flag and the Super Junior thing.
Yeah.
Kochi!
So we get the first match of the evening, and it was originally supposed to be Oscar Loibe versus JR Kratos. That's why Kojima doesn't look proper in this graphic, because I added him in. But with his, I'm guessing with the issues, they said it was due to injury, but I'm guessing it had to do with the big old giant egg that he had on his forehead. Bleeding last night. I'm guessing they didn't want to take the risk again. So we got Kojima, Bread Club versus Loibe. Loibe getting a majority of this match. Really good, really getting to show off against a legend like Kojima. Loibe getting the power range early, Kojima getting the speed chops in the corner, Loibe getting the repeated forearms in the corner to Kojima, and with the corner splash, hits the hip toss, and then going Hulk Hogan, hitting that leg drop.
Oh.
He really needs to talk to Hulk Hogan, and Hogan really needs to talk to him and say, don't fucking use a leg drop. You're going to have problems. Even Matt Hardy should be telling him, because Matt Hardy's walking around like he's a duck because of his second rope leg drop.
True
God, don't fuck your body up like that. Loibe getting the Boston Crab, but Kojima gets the ropes. They trade forearms, but Kojima ends up dominating and gets a DDT. Loibe blocks the cutter and gets a slam for 2. And then in the end, Kojima reverses a suplex, gets the Koji cutter, and then goes for a lariat, but Loibe blocks with the boot, and then he comes back and hits another lariat and gets the win. About 5 minutes, I think it's 5 minutes 23 seconds according to Cage. Quick little match, but really fun. Yeah.
My first note of this was Kojima hitting Loibe with amazing machine gun chops, but unable to follow up with the elbow drop. R.I.P. CM Punk's nuts. And for as long as Kojima is alive, we will always fondly remember him elbow dropping CM Punk's nuts. Because realistically, it was what almost every wrestling fan at AEW wanted to do to CM Punk's nuts. So thank you.
Yep,
Senior
very much so.
Bread Club, sir. We love you.
Bread Club!
Yes. The next note I had was Kojima finishing up his strike game very, very strong, overpowering Loibe and nailing him with a cozy cutter. Man, Kojima is just so strong. He's just a legend in this business. But I also have to say, I know you don't like Loibe's leg drops too much, but I do really like how he shoots his legs up.
No, it looks good. I just like, dude, don't do
It's
that.
going to mess up his back something fierce, but they look so good.
Like he's gonna have he's gonna end up like Hogan with hip replacements and fucked up back, dude. Like
I mean, relatable.
Hulk Hogan never hear this, but Hogan, go tell Loibe to stop doing this shit, or even Matt Hardy, tell Loibe to stop doing this shit.
Protect your back, sir.
Very much so. We move on. It's a tag team match. Homicide and Ryohei Oiwa taking on Katsutu's Francesco Akira and TJP. Homicide and TJP are actually good friends. Have known each other for a long time because both those guys have been in the business forever. So they do have a handshake at the start. Great back and forth by TJP and Homicide early. I really did like that. TJP with the scoop slam and the Eddie senton to Oiwa for 2. There's like a hammer lock head scissor, like half Koji clutch looking with a hammer lock by Akira to Oiwa at one point. He had the hammer lock and like it almost looked like a Koji clutch on the head. Looked really good. Repeated shoulders in the corner by Homicide, like just ramming the shoulder. I think it was into TJP. I can't remember who, but he just kept going, and the ref's trying to stop him. And he just keeps going, and he's just like a wild animal doing it. And at one point, he's got a patch on the top of his head from where he got fucking scalped by
where he got sliced and diced. Yeah,
and it starts out white at the start of the match, but the end of the match is the patch is like completely red, and there's like a bit of blood coming out of it. It's like, oh.
Well, yeah.
The triple Eddie suplex by Homicide, the triple suplex there, and he does as he gets up, he does a little bit of the Eddie shake. I love that he pulls that out every now and again. I really do. Flatliner by Homicide and for 2, then hits TJP with a tornado. Then TJP hits a tornado DDT to Homicide right after. Really good spot there. Beautiful bridging gut wrench suplex by Oiwa to Akira for 2. Like that looks smooth. Then he applies the Boston Crab while Homicide gets the STF on TJP. End of the match though comes X Factor 3D by Katsutu 2, and Akira gets a super kick for 2 on Oiwa. TJP gets tagged in, and they hit the running knee sandwich, and TJP pins Oiwa for the 3 count, and then everybody shakes hands after the match. You can see TJP and Homicide looking at each other and get each other to shake. And the announcer is saying these guys have known each other a long time, have had wars against each other, but have also been friends in the business for a long time. I like the little respect. I like the respect there.
Same. I didn't have a ton of notes on this one that you didn't already go through. I did write down Oiwa was the power in this match, very much so, and Akira was the zoom as always. He's just a zippity zipping all over the dang place. It was great. The face wash, doing the face wash to Oiwa, not once but twice. Kind of a nice.
He did it the first time, and then as he went for the boot the second time, Oiwa speared him.
Yeah, but still got the face wash twice.
Yep,
and that's the best part. Arguably,
that's how he just rakes the. I love when he rakes the laces.
It looks so good.
Oh, looks
so good. Love that.
Way better than like a normal like boot face wash. Just him raking the laces. Again, it's like I said, it's reminiscent of Kenny Omega used to shave his arm and do the grinding on people's faces with his weirdly shaved arms. Oh yeah, he used to shave his arms short, but like so they were prickly. So when he did it, it would fuck with people's faces. It was the way to sell the gimmick.
That's so rude.
It was intentional, obviously, just for.
Obviously, it's so rude.
It was just like, dude, that's kind of mean. I think he did it. I think he did it to Scott Justice here in Edmonton once when I saw that match. I think Justice said he did it to him too.
Yeah, I know someone else who does that. Now I know that was a dick move. Wow.
Oh, but a fun tag match. Katsutu getting the win, and again, building their way back up to titles, man.
I also loved Akira bowing to Homicide with the handshake. It was adorable. He is so adorable. That little amore.
he's got respect for a guy. Homicide has done a lot in this business. Like again, he never made WWE anything, but he had some great stuff in TNA when he was in TNA for years. Great stuff there. Did some great stuff in the NWA over the last couple of years. Again, Homicide is a legend to a lot of people, and to me too. I really respect the guy, and maybe not the hardcore stuff, but I respect his wrestling. Some of the wrestling, like those matches with Styles and Daniels in TNA back in like 06, been absolutely phenomenal.
That's the Homicide I remember with Supermax, yeah.
Yep.
Hernandez.
We move on. It's a Bullet Club's War Dogs with their brand new titles against Chaos and Chaos's Rocky Romero and Yo. Rocky ends up convincing the War Dogs and gets them to put the titles on the line at the start of the match. So it ends up becoming an IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team title match. The War Dogs attack for the bell, but Yo and Rocky get the advantages. Do it with a double suplex to Drilla. War Dogs end up taking advantage. Connors ends up choking Yo in the corner while the ref gets distracted. And the War Dogs are they're working over Yo, tagging in and out. Like really good tag work. I really did like that. Over Yo till he gets a dragon screw to Drilla and the leg lariat to Connors and tags on Rocky. Again, like I thought really good tag work from War Dogs, tagging in and out, really being brutal on Yo, but like having good tag, switching in and out quickly. I really did like that. Rocky gets both men in the corner, gets the forever clotheslines, and hits the double clothesline at the end, and hangs Drilla on the ropes and gets the double stomp to him for 2 in the ropes. Double knees by Chaos, like double jumping knee strike, and Anita Connors, double to Drilla, and Anita Connors. Rocky hits a lung blower to Drilla, and Yo hits the Falcon Arrow, but Drilla ends up stopping the 3K to Connors, and the War Dogs hit the high-low like spear chop block combo they do. Like I really kind of like it. I really you damage
When
it.
they time it right, it looks amazing.
They if they hit it right, it looks really really good.
Mm-hmm.
They hit that on Yo, but Rocky does stop the pin. Sliced bread power bomb combo by I'm just gonna call them by 3K because they are 3K. They're 2/3 of 3K, but only get a 2. And they get that was the Drilla, but they only get a 2. But Yo only gets a 2. Connors spears Yo, and Drilla gets the spine buster, and then the senton stomp combo. It looks so goddamn sick. Yo and Rocky hit the 3K to Connors, but Maloney ends up making the save. The end of the match comes where Yo inadvertently super kicks Rocky. Connors hits no chaser, but Rocky gets the sliced bread. But Connors is stopping it and gets him into the power slam position. And then he passes him to Drilla, and Drilla spikes him with the Drilla Killer. And they hit the spear brainbuster or spear suplex combo on Rocky, and they get the win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Again, really good defense.
Yeah. I felt that I don't have a ton of stuff on the match, but like my view of what this match was almost like a justification. Like the War Dogs justifying why they're the champions and showing what it is that they can do. Because this was a team that was sort of, I don't want to say mismatched, but they were certainly thrown together publicly very last second. So from a public perspective, we'd be like, oh, well, these guys have barely been tagging together and they just beat the most established junior tag team on the roster right now in Catch 2-2. I felt that this match was them showing off and pretty much saying, yeah, we just beat Catch 2-2 and we just effed up these guys' days too. As soon as they were like doing the whole, yeah, let's make it a tag team championship match. I was like, oh yeah, you guys are going to get your butts kicked. And they did.
I didn't expect anything else, though, even before when it was just Baytime. I expected War Dogs to win, especially coming off the first night. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, yeah, but wasn't this the first title defense that Catch 2-2 lost?
Yeah. Oh, I agree. Yes, it was Catch 2-2's first defense since winning the belt, and they did lose it. But again,
yeah. And then, like, arguably also, I mean, Rocky Romero, he's a CMLL champion. As soon as he said that, I was like, And they were trying to build Yo for a little bit, but after this, he's going to have to work a little bit to kind of pump back up there.
And it's not like they're not an experienced team with Yo and Rocky.
No, not at all.
And they spent years together with Show as 3K, and he tagged with those boys a lot in tags. So it's not like It's not like they were going up against just two random people put together. They were going up against an experienced team, and it all looked really good. I really enjoyed it.
It's just been a hot minute since Yo and Rocky have been together. Because Rocky, again, CMLL champion, he's been kind of doing his thing over there. Yo's been here rocking a Canadian tuxedo.
I think he's the CMLL historic welterweight champion. I want to say is his belt, but yeah.
Sure. Right.
We move on. It's Alex Zane, Lance Archer taking on TMDK's Big Teats, Big Bad Tito, Bad Dude Tito, and Kosei Fujita.
Big Teats and Fujita, and then we have, what are they calling themselves? Team Murder Sauce?
Well, not yet. No. We'll get to that at the end because Archer speaks about it at the end. But it is Monster Sauce. He says Monster Sauce.
Monster Sauce. I think Murder Sauce is better.
But Rick Abani, when he's on commentary, said Murder Sauce after he had said Monster Sauce. He called them Murder Sauce. I love Murder Sauce. That's what I actually was calling them.
But the Americans, sometimes they don't like certain words. So in Japan, you like your blood, something fierce, but you don't like the M word. My God.
Just like the machine guns in Japan, they were known as the Murder City machine guns. In America, they're the Motor City machine guns. So, well, at least back in the day, they were, anyways. Yeah.
Stop being so offended by words that mean stuff.
Yeah, right. It should be
we digress.
It can be anything, you know.
If they want to be a murder sauce, let them be a murder sauce.
I was going to say something even more offensive, but I decided not to because
good sir.
I don't need to be canceled. So Archer wrecking Young Lions again, as usual. The crowd just loves this man. They're chanting for Archer. They love him.
Oh, of course.
What is it at the start? It's Fujita and Zane in, but then Tito tags himself in and demands to face Archer. It's just like, okay, that's a choice.
So much attitude.
Tito, Big T's can't put him down with the shoulder blocks. So he ends up cutting off Archer's attack, but Archer ends up dropping Tito with the shoulder block. Again, really good stuff. I love these two in the ring. Fujita chop blocks Zane off Big T's distraction. Hits a beautiful belly-to-belly suplex. This guy's got style, man.
So
Big Teats hits the Eddie Guerrero senton to Zane, then hits the enziguri, or hits a kick, and then enziguri, and then the deadlifts German to Zane. Again, like impressive. Just the guy's power is crazy. So he lifts him like he's nothing, and Zane's not a small person.
Oh no.
Because I don't think he's a junior anymore. He looks like he's bulked up last year, and again, even when he was in the junior tag league, didn't look very junior to me.
No, he was always bulky.
Yeah, and he's only bulked more. Forever elbows by Archer to Fuji and Teats.
Right?
Until they collapse in the corners. He's just going, just bang, just running back, bang. Like he's got, for a big man, he's got stamina and speed, man. He really does.
Quick. Yeah.
They do hit the flip choke slam combo onto Fujita. But Teats ends up catching Zane when he goes for a plancha and then just hangs him up on the barricade. A beautiful corner lariat and an exploder by Big Teats to Archer. Looked really good. Archer hits a running knee to Fujita on the top rope, and Zane hits the flip double kick to Fujita. But Archer gets the pin, but it's broken up by Teats. In the end, though, Zane gets the flip famouser, and Archer gets the lariat to Fujita, and Monster Sauce gets the win. And afterwards, Archer says it's now been 20. The anniversary of wrestling is right now, I guess, or right when that match was happening, around when that day. It's been 25 years in wrestling for him, and looking at this is the new team. Watch for it. And he calls. I'm pretty sure he called the monster sauce. I'm not 100%. I could have misheard, but I thought he said monster sauce. Maybe it's because I already had monster sauce written down, and then he said it, and that's whatever. But yeah, and he says they will be back. So tag league.
Let's hope so.
Monster/murder sauce in the tag league. Let's go.
Yes.
God, that would be awesome.
Again, I love seeing Big Teats. He became a big fan of Big Teats last year. Really enjoyed seeing him square up to Archer at the beginning of this because, as I mentioned earlier, he's kind of like the powerhouse of TMDK right now. Because, like, Mikey Nichols has that kind of piss and vinegar kind of thing, but what he lacks is size. He's not a big guy. I would actually almost argue right now that Shane Haste is actually physically larger than him, and he's their kind of aerialist. So yeah, I feel like this tour is kind of like Teet's kind of proven that he's kind of the big boy around now because, Jonah Reed or whatever the frick, Bronson somebody, he left. And he was the powerhouse beforehand that Teets was kind of like the secondary to. Now Teets has to really step up and be the powerhouse of TMDK. Protect that young boy. He's going to get his ass kicked.
We'll call him Brona. It's a mix of both names. Bronson and Brona.
What? Brona Reed.
Brona. Brona Reed. No.
Brona Reed.
No, Brona Wreck. His last name technically was Rock when he was Jonah. He was Jonah Rock, but
Brona Reed Rock.
Brona Reed Rock, yeah.
That man is going to have the worst, like what am I trying to say? Identity crisis of his life. Who am I?
Brona. Let's go, Brona.
Brona Rock Reed.
Yeah, Brona Rock Reed. We move on. 6-person tag team match. Hiroshi Tanahashi, the DKC, and Tomohiro Ishii taking on Team Filthy's Jarrell Nelson, Royce Isaacs, and Tom Lawler. All of them coming out with American flag garb. Great. And then Kratos joining the commentary team here.
Yeah.
I again, it didn't feel like he added a lot to it, but he wasn't bad.
No.
I was the thing. Like it wasn't like listening to Zayn or LP or somebody who I think are absolutely spectacularly good when they're there. But
it was better than David Finlay.
Yes, like what he added was good, but it wasn't like he added a lot. But he didn't come off bad. He came off because again, he came off pretty goddamn good. I thought, like for what he did in there.
I agree.
Yeah. So Ishii and Lawler, watching those two face off. I want more. Lawler should be in the G1 this year, but I'm hoping him not being in the G1 means he's going to be in Blood and Guts next in a week. I'm really hoping. I'm really hoping. DKC getting the knee bar on Lawler early in the match. Actually, a really good spot there. Double diving spear like the double diving spear into the corner, and then the corner lariat by Team Filthy to DKC. Nelson pulling down the overalls and taking them off, and the crowd just cheers for it. So he's just like, and does the Rick Rude hip swivel to follow it.
Yeah.
Mel would have liked that.
Jarrell Nelson's not my favorite.
Okay, so if Lawler did it, you would be happy? If you pulled him down to the Daisy Dukes?
We're gonna go with maybe. I don't know. Neither one of those options sounds particularly pleasant.
You like the Daisy Dukes in person, and you know it. Tanahashi giving dragon screws to all of Team Filthy. The assisted Falcon Arrow by Lawler and Isaacs, while Nelson hit the beautiful suicide dive to Ishii on the floor. they end up doing the spot where DKC gets hung up in the ropes. Isaac pulls him out and does the walk around the ring suplex, while Nelson and Lawler have the double delayed suplex on Tana in the ring, and then they hit the suplex together floor and in ring.
Mhm.
I thought that looked really good.
Mhm.
At the end of the match, though, Tanahashi runs Isaacs into Nelson, knocking him out of the ring, then runs him into Lawler, who knocks him into Ishii, who gets the rear naked choke on, and Tanahashi pulls him into Isaacs into a small package and gets the win. Very out of nowhere win.
And like, how often do we see a small package win? Not very often.
No.
Nay, I say. That one was a surprise for me. I mean, I was pleasantly surprised, but I was also surprised at who. Like, again, we have team mismatch going against a team that's established, and I arguably feel the wrong team got the win on this one. I don't see it, like, based on what happened after the match. Ishii wouldn't even stay to have his arm raised. He just kind of went, fuck this shit, and left. There's obvious dissension that Team Chaos and Team Hontai came together to defeat Jay White's Bullet Club era. That era is no more. That union of Hontai and Chaos no longer needs to be a thing. I think it's time that Chaos turns evil and turns on Hontai or something. It's just something needs to happen. These teams can't coexist anymore, and it's obvious the teams don't want to coexist anymore. If that was Okada, it would have been a different story. If it was yeah, I feel if it was a different person, it would have been different, but like Ishii's clearly not happy.
And really, and I look at it as Team Filthy getting the win, even if they pin DKC, that would give them rights to be like, hey, we want a 6-man tag title shot.
100%. So I didn't feel that the right team won, and that the ending kind of came in the way that it should have. There was one spot that I did really like, where Tom Lawler had the DKC in something. I don't remember what it was. Might have been an STF. Not quite sure. But like, Tana came in to try to break it up, and Lawler was just like, no. Yeah. Hana must have kicked him like 3 or 4 times before, I think it was Jarrell Nelson actually got in and shoved Tana out of the ring. But Lawler was just, he did not let go of that submission. And he was not no-selling Tana's kicks, but he was pretty dang close. It was very weird but cool part of the match to really show, Team Filthy, pretty dominant, pretty strong, pretty intense team.
Yeah, I've been a fan of Team Filthy for a while, so
Yes, you have.
Mel's finally getting on board. Let's go. Get on board the Filthy train. Woo, let's go.
Did the Filthy train get cleaned recently? No, thank you.
Oh, it's just a Filthy train. You got to live with it. You got to live in that filth.
I just watched a deathmatch tag team match. That's as filthy as I need to get. Thank you.
Here we go on to what, to me personally, was the best match of the whole couple of days. Was Willow Nightingale versus Julia for the Strong Women's Championship.
So good.
I thought these two absolutely killed it.
Mm-hmm.
Great new robe for Julia. The feathered robe and everything. I don't remember seeing it before.
It looks like one of her older ones, but it just looks like more has been added on to it.
Yeah, might be it again, but just we've been seeing her with that red jacket for the last while too. So yeah, Julia laying the forearms in at the start of the match and chops hard across the chest, but Willow ends up stopping an arm drag, and Julia tries a head scissors but gets stopped. But she ends up getting the sunset roll up, but can't even get one because Willow Nightingale kicks out before the ref even gets it down to count 1. He's just getting down and she's already kicking out again. Really, I thought that really good starter there. Willow tries a German, but Julia pulls the leg through, gets her down and gets a headlock, but Willow ends up getting to the ropes. Willow hits this huge spine buster and goes into a stack pin, but only gets 2. But again, really, she's the babe with the power. She's called the babe with the power for a reason. Willow taking a page out of Okada's books and just holding on to that wrist and just doing the wrist clutch lariats. Really good. But Julia reverses, tries for the glorious driver, but can't lift her up, and Willow ends up dropping her and gets two, dropping her with a strike and gets two. Bear hugged by Willow at one point, but Julia ends up turning into a guillotine. But Willow tries the suplex, but Willow tries the suplex, but Julia ends up getting a pendulum DDT.
Yes.
Huge pounce by Willow at one point, sending Julia flying. And then she flying. She ends up in the corner, and Willow hits the cannonball in the corner, in the corner, and hits the Spicoli driver. But Julia kicks out at like 2.6. I'm just making up random numbers at this point.
Seems legit.
Yeah, Julia stops a power bomb and gets a takedown, but Willow pulls her up and gets the Babe bomb into the corner, just buckle bombs the shit out of her. Hammerlock DDT suplex by Willow to Julia. Again, Willow was a dominant in this match. She really was. Willow goes to the top, misses the moonsault, and Julia gets the head scissors into the crucifix pin, and then turns it into a Rings of Saturn type move, and then turns it into an inverted triangle, an armbar combo, a version of Bianca, essentially. But Willow does get her foot on the rope. But again, I love the transition.
Before you move on from that one, there was a spot in that spot where Willow had actually got one of her arms out and was actually wiggling towards the rope. But Julia actually was able to catch her and smack her a couple times with her foot and forcefully move her back into position, into the move before Willow was able to escape. And I felt that just showed that intelligence, but also the resiliency of Julia and just the in-ring smarts that she has with that transition.
Yeah.
Continues.
Again, very, very good. Again, just the psychology in there was absolutely phenomenal. And I was going to say, the way you see Sabre every 6 seconds switches it up. That was what Julia was doing. She kept switching the submission. I really did like that. Willow Nightingale goes for the Babe with the power bomb, but Julia ends up turning it into a code red. But Willow kicks out at 2.7. Backdrop driver by Julia to Willow, but she only gets a 2 count. Super kick by Willow, and Willow goes up to the top, but Julia attacks and hits the butterfly suplex off the top to Willow. But Willow kicks out of the last possible 2.9. The ref's
last millisecond.
Then she kicks out. Absolutely phenomenal. Willow ends up missing a lariat, and Julia hits this sick knee strike, and then picks her up. Glorious driver of the Dangerous Queen, as they were saying on commentary, and Julia picks up the win.
Yes, Queen.
Yeah, sorry, that wasn't glorious. She hit what I kept calling for Billion, but they called it the Dangerous Queen. So I'm going to call it Dangerous Queen from now on.
Okay.
It was because the glorious driver, is to the right side of her body. This one was the driver to the left, which I keep because I remember putting a tweet saying Vermilion about the move, so I've been calling it ever since. But they called it Dangerous Queen, and she picks up the win off of it. I love Willow Nightingale to death. I've met her; she's awesome. But I'm really happy that she's gotten this little run title. I'm so freaking happy Julia has this belt because that means we're going to get her on more North American programming. And Julia, they said on commentary, they said Julia has been wanting to come to America to wrestle over here. And with this title, it gives her the perfect excuse. She can come over, she can bring Thek with her, they can have a blast over here. Bring Micah. I'm happy. Bring all of DDM. Let's go. DDM.
That is literally all of DDM.
Bring all of DDM. Bring Lady C and induct her into DDM. Let's go.
What the Oh dear. Yeah. There wasn't a whole lot that I wrote down that you didn't get on there. There was one point where that towards the end there they were having that strike off, that kind of final strike off. Julia managing to win the strike off, but then being flattened by not one but 2 lariats from Willow Nightingale, which is so good. She's so strong. But Julia, man, the Japanese women here, I mean, Cash Misaki, another one, just known for their resiliency and their inability to stay down once put down. And Julia showed out for this one. That was a good win for her. Nice to see another double champion.
There we go. I'm very happy. I love,
Mm.
again, I will never hide my love for Julia. I love this woman. I think she's absolutely phenomenal. I can't wait for her to win another 5-star Grand Prix 2 years in a row. Let's go. Get her your belt back. Pin Tam. Let's get your belt back. But yeah, absolutely phenomenal match. And they do have a bit of a sign of respect after the match. And then Willow actually got hurt out in this match.
She did look like she was nursing an arm.
Yeah, because she was supposed to wrestle on Saturday at Collision, but they end up cutting a promo on the show saying their match was delayed a week. So let's see if she can heal up in time so that she's going to face Athena on Friday's Rampage. But yeah,
speedy recovery to her.
Yeah, I hope so. Again, they probably don't think it's anything serious. Probably just something messed up. She needs a couple extra days off to rest. But yeah,
I mean, these Japanese girls, don't let their size fool you, my guys. These girls hit hard. They mess your day up.
They'd kick the shit out of Moxley. That's for goddamn sure.
They kicked the shit out of Tom Lawler, specifically that one.
Yeah, pretty much. We move on. IWGP Tag Team Championships. It's Bishamon defending against Bullet Club War Dogs, Alex Coughlin, Gabe Kidd. War Dogs tossing chairs around again. Kidd and Coughlin try to jump Bishamon again, but Bishamon ready to fight, and they're fighting off War Dogs, beating him up to the floor. Goto runs Coughlin into the post. Yoshi runs Kidd into the barricades. They're fighting in the ring, and just Kidd gets sent to the floor. Coughlin goes in the barricade again. It's just a lot of crazy at the start of people fighting on the outside. Kidd's choking Yoshi on the floor with a chair, while Coughlin is choking Goto on the ropes. Again, really good back and forth between these teams. Beautiful gut wrench suplex by Coughlin to Goto, then follows up with another and gets a 2 count. The chop battle between Goto and Coughlin was great.
So good.
Oh, so good. Beautiful spinning lariat by Goto. Kidd stops a suplex, breaks the eyes of Goto. But Goto runs Kidd into the corner, and Yoshi hits a lariat. Coughlin stops yoshi-hashi with a chair, and Goto ends up lariating Goto. The double muscle buster hit by the War Dogs. They only get 2 though, and then they like start threatening Red Shoes because he didn't give him a 3 count. And the crowd just boos the shit out of him for threatening Red Shoes. I think Red Shoes needs to be threatened more, but he's too soft. He's too soft. They go for the hijack.
He's too soft. He Captain America'd with a frickin' piece of table to protect Naito from evil. You want to tell me he's soft? I haven't even seen Fitz do that. And Fitz is the best.
Yeah, it's true. Maybe Red Shoes can learn from Fitz. I don't know. Hijack pile driver, but Goto ends up stopping it, and Yoshi-Hashi gets to roll up on Coughlin. Roll up, and then runs, and they ends up running Coughlin into Kidd, then gets another 2 count. After they end up trading lariats, Kidd bites the head of Yoshi-Hashi. It's like, it's just like, but Yoshi ends up dropping him, and Goto is tossed into Yoshi-Hashi, and Coughlin comes in. Yoshi-Hashi super kicks Coughlin. Goto Ushigoroshi's Coughlin onto Gabriel Kidd. Then they hit Shoto to Gabriel Kidd, and they retain the titles. Again, I'm very okay with this. Again, do I want them to be on the Empire, or back on the Empire, back on Aussie Open, or maybe on Khan and Hanare? Yeah, please. Yeah, I really would. But I really didn't want to see War Dogs take both sets of titles.
Same. They didn't need both of them.
No.
And for me, I don't know if you got the same vibe. Like, I enjoyed this match, but of this one and the one for the NJPW Strong titles, I actually enjoyed this Strong titles match more. I just felt that they didn't. The War Dogs didn't have the fire in this match that they had the night before, which I think led to Bishamon being able to retain.
Yeah, I did enjoy the first match better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I don't have anything to add on this. I like I said, I like the one that the night before better.
Yeah. So 7 main events of the evening. In reality, the main event of the evening, because I don't like what the main event was. It's the New Japan Strong Openweight title match. Kenta versus Eddie. The premise is, again, we're not the biggest Eddie Kingston fans here.
No.
But I will give it this. This is one of the best Eddie Kingston matches I've seen since probably Ishii, the match with him and Ishii last year. This is probably one of the best.
Look at the common denominator in that.
Japanese wrestlers. Both men, like at the start of this match, just looking intense as fuck, though. Like staring each other down. Kenta hitting a hard slaps to Eddie. And they keep goading Eddie, and Eddie chases him around the ring. So Kenta gets back in and ends up stomping on Eddie. But Eddie gets a suplex and it hits a chop, sending Kenta to the floor. I wrote Kento for some reason. I guess I'm terrible at typing too.
Wrong dude. He doesn't have the shoulder pads.
Yeah. Kenta ends up dodging on the floor, and Eddie chops the shit out of the post.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I hate when people do that because I'm like, God damn it, because he didn't pull that hit.
Kenta wouldn't want him to.
Oh, jeez.
It's Kenta.
And then, I'll say this: Eddie did a really good job of selling the chops. Like every time he chopped Kenta, he would go and he would shake his hand, like selling the injury from the post. So I did quite enjoy the sell he did with his hand. Eddie getting a sleeper on Kenta, but Kenta grabs the ref, and Kenta ends up grabbing something from the floor. But Kenta makes Eddie look like he's cheating to try. But the ref is just like, what the hell, and gets distracted. So then he runs Eddie into the ref in the corner, and then hits a DDT on Eddie. Again, great heel tactics from Kenta.
I mean, Bullet Club.
In reality, I think Kanemaru has to give up the title of heel master to Kenta at this point. I think so, because Kenta's got some great heel tactics here.
I mean, he does. Yeah. But can he do a satellite DDT like Yoshinobu Kanemaru?
Now, this is a really great spot to because Kenta's been coming out with 2 belts both these nights. His New Japan Strong title and his Defy Wrestling title, which is not too far from us in Seattle, Washington. So
correct.
Yeah. He had just recently won this back in June. So so Kenta grabs the title, the Strong title. But Eddie gets the knee to the midsection, picks up the belt, but ends up giving it to the ring guy. So Kenta slides out, grabs his Defy title, and comes and smokes Eddie in the face with it. Again, great tactics to the belts by just one belt and realizing he's distracted, get the other one. I really did like the fact that he had the second belt to do that with.
This was a scoring match.
Yeah, Kenta goes up, hits a coup de grace, as I like to call it. It's a double foot stomp, but only 2. Eddie slips out of the G2S and gets a Dragon Sleeper. And steps over and sits down on the Dragon Sleeper, but Kenta forces them into the ropes. Hard chops to the head and neck of Eddie by Kenta, just cracking him. And hits the Biseku knee, but Eddie does kick out that 2.9 spot. The G2S is blocked again by Eddie, and Eddie hits an enziguri, and after some Kenta slap chop, 2 spinning back fists. Eddie hits 2 spinning back fists, but Kenta kicks at that 2.9. They trade a bunch of shots, and then a huge layup by Kingston, but again he only gets a 2 count. Eddie gets kicks to the head of Kenta, hits a spinning back fist, and then picks him up, hits the vertical drop brainbuster, and he gets the win. Eddie Kingston is your new Strong champion. I know Mel is very happy about this one.
As you can tell by the look on my face. Yeah. You know, as long as he actually does something with it, as long as he defends it on Strong shows, as long as he defends it against decent people deserving of it, I don't want to see no freaking Cutie Marshall from fucking AW fighting for this. Sweet baby Jesus, I will lose my shit. He needs
you may see that on an AEW or something, but
He needs to do better with this title than Jon Moxley did with the US title when he freaking kidnapped it and then like put it in his closet and forgot about it over COVID.
Mm-hmm.
If he can do that, I will have a new level of respect for Eddie Kingston. I won't talk so much shit about him.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, man.
Again, I've never been a big fan of his wrestling. His promos
It's drunken fist to me. That's all it looks like. It's like when you go into a freaking Mortal Kombat game and pick Bo Raicho. Who picks Bo Raicho?
Who's Bo Raicho?
Exactly.
I don't even know who that is.
He's the drunken fist guy.
I need to talk to Mike and figure out who Bo Raicho is. Jesus.
I'm pretty. Gosh, I really hope that that's his name because I'm gonna look real stupid if it isn't. I'm pretty sure it's Bo Raicho.
You're pretty show.
I'm for show.
For show. So, you're all about.
Let's move on from this mess.
Again, I thought like one of the best Eddie Kingston matches I've seen.
If I had to pick, that's only because I like Penta.
But I thought they both did a really good job in there, and they had a good match. Again,
it was better than the main.
And I think Eddie, if you put him with the right people, will have good title defenses for New Japan Strong.
Please put him with the right people.
I don't think you're gonna get. I don't think we're getting a QT Marshall. Maybe on AEW, but not on the Strong shows. You're not getting a QT Marshall to Vince.
It can't be anybody lesser. Like it can't be mid card people. It needs to be the Adam Coles. It can't be the QT Marshalls.
I would love to see him and Rosser tune it up because I think that would be a good match. Because I like Rosser. I really do.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Rosser is hit or miss. Sometimes he'll have a really, really great match. Sometimes it's like that audio. Sometimes maybe good. Sometimes maybe shit.
And here comes the shit.
Yeah.
Fuck. I'm sorry. I didn't like this at all. Again, I respect the guys for putting their bodies through to entertain people that love this shit. I just don't like it.
Would you like to hear my notes on this?
Go right ahead. You probably got better ones.
Not a fan. Spent most of the time hiding my face. Why is there barbed wire? Why is there a cheese grater? Why is there barbed wire? Why is there so much barbed wire? Yuck. Those are my notes.
Yeah. So there's forking. There's a.
There was a bouquet of flowers.
Yeah, but that. And the referees or the announcers are saying that both these men's they're cut like the cuts that they got the night before are being held together by super glue, and it's just like
that's just doesn't great. That's just yeah. So Mox, sexy.
There's a good spot where Mox puts the chairs together on the floor and suplexes Despy into them again. Hardcore spot, but was actually kind of impressive to me.
Yeah, didn't he do the chair thing too with his leg?
Stomp the chair in the rope, Pillmanizing him as the announcer's saying. Mox ends up getting Desperado's guitar, and he hits Desperado with the guitar.
Yeah.
And then stabs him in the neck with the neck of the guitar.
Seems safe.
Because Desperado has his regular mask on tonight, not the open top, and he's stabbing him in the eye, like through the eye hole. I'm like, that's so fucking dangerous. Like, you stupid idiot. Like, so was it who went through the barbed wire board? Oh, Mox. I think Mox went into the barbed wire board. I think
no, it was Desperado. Oh, Desperado got yeeted into it.
Yeah, and then
he was upside down.
Yeah, it was
thrown upside down into it.
And then he ends up getting but then he gets Moxie on another barbed wire board.
Yeah,
it does the Kasai salute splash off the top.
Yeah.
And then he uses a cheese grater on the forehead of Mox. And then they each put barbed wire around their fists and punch each other.
I don't think Moxley had a choice. It looked like there was a prong that was stuck in his arm.
Okay, no, so Despy did have the mask open on top because they did the skewers. Despy got the skewers and then handed half of them to Mox for some stupid fucking reason. Again, all logic
in this match to be twin porcupines.
Because all logic is out the window in this match, I guess. And they stab each other in the head, and it's just like, ew. Ugh.
And then they're just sitting there like, dummies. That wasn't funny. There was nothing about that spot that, first of all, made sense. And second of all, that was hardcore. It was just two idiots sitting there going, hey, I got a stick. I'm going to put it in your head.
Yeah. And then they did the barbed wire fist spot. Then Mox hit a cutter, does a 12-6 elbows, gets the bulldog choke, but Despy gets out of it. Desperado gets the spine buster and the backdrop driver, followed by the pinche loco for 2. Then he gets an underhook pile driver and then rolls through for the double underhook pile driver. Then rolls through, hits a pinche loco, but Mox reverses the pinche loco into the Death Rider, but Desperado kicks 2x9. So Mox steals from Seth Rollins and hits a stomp, and then hits the Death Rider and picks up the win. Again,
Like, again, this was another match where as soon as I saw things starting to happen, I would start to like, why? And I was like making the noise. But like, as soon as the cheese grater came out, I couldn't even. I white girled on that. I just.
I just realized something in my brain.
What?
They're announcing on AEW on Wednesday the partners for Blood and Guts, but BCC needs a partner because Danielson's out. Desperado, maybe. He's not in a G1. Come on, why not? He's bled with him.
You know what? At this point, I just want to see more Joshi wrestlers in America so that some of these American guys like us can actually start talking with some knowledge about Joshi wrestlers. So yeah. I send Desperado as tribute.
Well, this isn't Joshi. This is Puroresu. Joshi's the women's side, but
whatever the fizzity yuck.
Yeah, but honestly, it just dawned on me right now. Desperado should be the goddamn partner. I want Tom Lawler to be it, but this would be awesome because they've bled together, and that's the whole BCC
kind
thing.
He's kind of a lone wolf right now because like Suzuki's not really around, and like Ren Narita's kind of piss boying with Shota right now.
But BCC's whole thing: if you want to join us, you bleed with us. That has been their motto. Desperado has now bled with him. The other option is Homicide, who has bled with him. Like, they bled together.
If I had to choose between Homicide and Desperado, I would rather see Desperado.
Oh, yeah. But I'm saying these options are just dawning on me right now, and I talked about it on Sunday. I can't believe I didn't realize these on Sunday. God damn it. I hate myself. But yeah, after the match, Mox gets the mic, says he's in Japan. He's the king of New Japan. You're fucking not. He says, you are all the real kings and queens, especially here in Korakuen. It has the heartbeat of professional wrestling there. He was baptized in fire here a few years ago. He will always come back and fight here for you. No, you're kind of lying because you didn't come for a year and a half when you held the belt. So
yeah, you fucking kidnapped the belt and pissed off with it, sir. Stop lying to us.
So yeah, stop lying. He has been in the ring with some sick people in death matches, and Desperado's at the top of the list. And it was an honor to be in there with Jun Kasai last night too, and Homicide. So and then he signs off. And that's the end of the show.
Yay!
But again, outside of the death matches, 2 really incredible shows for me personally.
I agree. Because the death matches really did bring it down. I understand why they needed to be the mains, because like cleanup.
And again, there's a section of fan base, like you and me are not them, but there's a section of the fan base that like that stuff. And if you like that stuff, you got some 2 probably what you consider great death matches. I don't like it. I've been to one and it almost made me throw up because I got fucking light tube in my mouth.
Yeah, we might recommend some therapy to those people who enjoy these shows because goddamn, love your people, love humanity. Come on, that's not love. There's nothing about that lovely. Yeah, love belongs in the body.
This is love.
This is love. Anyhow, Andre, my friend, it seems we have come to the end of this nearly 2-hour saga.
Nearly, we can make it 2 hours, but we're gonna get out of here.
Yes, we are.
You can find me on Twitter, Mastodon, TikTok now. and Hive. It is not listed there. At That Canada Guy. You can find me on Instagram and Threads at That Canada Dude. You can find, and then you can find me every Wednesday for the next couple of weeks over on our local establishment where I'm doing the Marvel Talk show. We'll be going live this Wednesday. We're doing a live feed. The following week we'll probably drop a recorded show on the Thursday, and then for the finale on July 28th, we are going to be going live, and we might have some special guests with us on that show. It'll be live on the Wednesday. We're going to talk about it, maybe if she watches it in time. But yeah, we're lots of great stuff coming out over there. But yeah, me and Ed are gonna have Marvel Talk for the next couple of weeks, so please check us out over there at youtube.com/@our-local-establishment and twitch.tv/our-local-establishment. And you could also find us. You might be watching us right now, right over here on Backbreaker Video. If you are, please give a like and a subscribe to the channel. Mike is doing some phenomenal stuff there. And if you want some other great stuff from Mike, you can check him out at twitch.tv/MikeTheRef for all his live great gaming content every Wednesday. He does the Dynamite Watch Along, lots of great stuff there. And then you can also find all his gaming stuff put up at youtube.com/@Backbreaker_gaming. There's him. There's PJC. There's Rick Jules. Lots of great. He's got his fight club going where they're playing fighting games against each other now. Again, lots of great content there, and I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Melball, where can they find you?
If you're wanting to follow a Melball, you can find her on Twitter at Collins Melball, or you can find her on Mastodon, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and now that Blue Sky thing at Melball Collins. You can also find us on our, where is it? At Facebook fan page there, Andre Melball's Wrestling Talk. You can catch me on our local establishment's original programming, Paramindful, every couple of weeks on Mondays. We just dropped a episode this week on Bigfoot. You want to come by and hear the gold standard Carl Carufel and Alex Werewolf and I break down all that spooky yuki-ish. You can also catch me on Astro Pizzoro's YouTube channel, Ladies Wrestling Showcase. We're going to be recording an episode sometime this week, because your girl, yeah, she's chaotic over here. Things just end up happening. Astrid's getting incredible opportunities. We keep having to reschedule Ladies Wrestling Showcase because on the grander scheme of things, it's a little bit lower on the priority list. But Astrid is our star. She is the beautiful, she is the talented natural, and she is always getting incredible opportunities. So go check out her YouTube channel. Again, check out all of the amazing content she has over there, including Making an Impact and Astrid Asks. She's even going to be on her own Astrid Asks coming up here. I'm so excited to see that.
With my tag partner, Old Ed. Well, Ed's going to interview her. My partner Ed's going to interview her.
Yes. And if you're wanting to watch NJPW, we will leave a link in the description box down below. It is NJPW, is it -world.com? No, NJPW-World.com. Yeah, and it's approximately 999 yen or approximately $10 Canadian, but like more like $7 because it was like $7.30 actually is what I got charged this month. But still, it's less than $10, you guys. That's a heck of a rate to watch some amazing professional wrestling.
And sign up now. The G1's starting in a few days. It is the best time of the year. That's less than $20. You get you're going to get like 20 incredible shows. It's going to be awesome. Highly recommend it, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, and not only are you getting the Japanese wrestler, the G1 is a conglomerate of people from all over the world coming in there, and also a couple new Japanese faces. In my personal favorite that I was rooting for last year, Kaito Kinemura. He's going to be in there. I'm so excited. That being said, Andre, do you have anything else to say to the beautiful people?
I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for liking the videos. Thank you for, if you can, please give us a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below because we want to hear from you, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can get alerted every time we drop a new video. I know Jason does.
Ding dong. And that being said, I am your Melball. Over there is Andre. We will see you next time. Adios.